One North Country cemetery became a classroom today as Indian River teachers decided to take around 90 students on a field trip to learn about local history. Here's 7 News reporter Gage Kilborn.
A few weeks ago, Indian River 7th and 8th grade social studies teacher James Blackburn had an idea.
On the second or third day of class, I told my team that I wanted to do a history project in the cemeteries, and we made it happen.
The history project is called the Written in Stone Cemetery Project, which challenged students to use math, science, history, and English. The semester-long project was designed to teach Indian River students about their local history.
And with the local history that we have around here, I think it's a great way for the kids to learn the local history and connect with their own communities.
Students were also tasked with shading over the headstones with paper and measuring the tombstones, as well as learning what the symbols on the headstones mean, such as a lily, which means innocence and purity. The town of Theresa historian Timothy Minnick taught the kids about some of the major wars and how they affected the area.
You know, we tend to forget about the veterans that created our freedom, but you know, the people that for the War of 1812, basically they came up to Sackett's Harbor, they saw the area, hey, we're going to move here.
One student believes she was able to get a deeper understanding of the local history by being outside the classroom.
Because sometimes in textbooks you don't get it on first hand to learn history, since you won't know exactly how many veterans are there.
The students will continue their research in school for the remainder of the semester to learn more about the people they saw at the cemetery. The Indian River teaching staff is hoping to turn this into an annual event to get kids interested in local history. Gage Kilborn, 7 News.